All right.
I think I will have to do some recording. Yeah, today we're going to look at some of the practicalities, whatever we have been saying, and their implications. Yeah, Fred Amati, you're welcome to this meeting. We have about 40 minutes that have been scheduled for this meeting. I hope we can fully utilize them. Yeah, but this is so beautiful. We are slowly picking it up. And I really think that everything will push on well. Yeah, after this session, we are almost getting into the climax. After this session, we shall have a session about the pest and disease identification. After knowing how we can go about them, and that is control or manage them, then we shall now come into how we can properly identify. Yeah, so we shall have just a word of prayer and then we can kick off. Yeah, we want to thank you, God, for today, for this time that you have always prepared and given us a life to carry on. Yeah, as we set this period for knowledge sharing, please, God, may you be amongst us and may you give us more wisdom to share amongst us. And Lord, we pray that this is not going to go in vain, but be of hope and improve our practical knowledge in agriculture and give us the wisdom to farm in God's way. Thank you. In the name of Jesus, we pray and believe. Yes, Lillian, you're welcome. Yeah,
Sorry, Ivan. I thought I saw your eyes crossed there. I've just joined. I didn't know that you're in prayer. You were praying.
Yeah, we just have we just had a little one to.
Okay, it's fine.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think we can pick up from now. Yeah, the others will join us and find us along the way. So today, let me see. I want to share my screen. Okay. Okay. So you can see that. I need to enlarge it. Let me see. So today we shall look at how best, let me say, how best we can achieve the most out of the chemicals we apply. And our topic has been understanding plant protection products. That means chemicals, that means organic products, that means biological products. So as we have had a brief opening of what these are, what are their types, how do they work, which one suits which one suits the activity better than the other one. We now today look at how we can, I would say, most probably achieve the best out of each chemical. So today we are looking at the quality of application and the coverage. Now, when we talk about application, the last session was typically about part of this, some of these things, yeah, where we looked at, let me check, we looked at what? We looked at the type, factors affecting, this is the type of plant protection product, yeah. So we had, okay, what do we want? Yeah, so on these factors here that you're seeing, factors affecting effectiveness of plant product of pesticides. Yeah, we looked at the quality, where we had the type of pesticides, the content of pesticides, and the mode of application. Then we looked at the timing, where we stopped that with the weather conditions. And now today we are going to look at the quality of application. And this is where we are beginning. And of course, some of these things we shall always reflect back, because the explanations normally sometimes cut across. So today we are kicking off with, okay, yeah, we are kicking off with the equipment. Yeah, the equipment. How can an equipment lead to poor, or I would say less effectiveness of the chemical? Yeah, we have our mixings done well, we have our chemical right, we have chosen it right to the right pest. But then when we come to the equipment, here are some of the guidelines to check. And we want to make sure that for maximum benefits, yeah, our pesticide product is applied in an optimum way, that's the best way it is supposed to be applied. And of course, for that, we look at how we maintain the equipment we use to apply the pesticide or any product. So for that matter, I will start with the most common, I would say, equipment, which is the knapsack sprayer, and which all of us know. And this is, let me take us into the presentation way. Yeah, so here we look at what we have to check to ensure that our product, our equipment is in a better working state. Of course, what else? We have to look at leaks. We have to look at, we have to calibrate, what amount of the mixture, of the chemical mixed inside, is released by the equipment for 1 minute, or let's say for 60 seconds, or for 1 hour. So all these, yeah, somebody was asking to screen share, Kidambire Vincent. Well, I hope you're looking at the screen I've shared. Yeah, I hope we are all looking at what I'm explaining or what I'm talking about. Okay. The new members, you're welcome. Aunt Esther, you're welcome. And the others that the names are not showing all, Noam, Esam, you're welcome, and the others. Yeah, I hope all of us are able to look at the screen I'm sharing. Yeah, so today we're looking at the equipment. The equipment we are using can lead to, I would call it, poor action, or else a lack of effectiveness in the chemical we are applying. And for these reasons, it's why we are starting with the equipment, which is the knapsack sprayer, which everybody can access, or at most the starting equipment for application of pesticides at the farms. So we're looking at what we call calibrate this knapsack at least every beginning of the season, for reasons that, because we are using plastic is it can wear, due to multiple uses, it can wear and increase the nozzle, or what we can say an emitter size. The whole of the nozzle can be increased, and the knapsack is giving out a lot of chemical, and you end up spraying a lot of chemical in a small area. Or if you're supposed to spray, let's say, 200 liters of the mixture in 1 acre, or let's say tomatoes, you end up spraying 2 knapsacks, sorry, 2 drums, or what means now 2 drums, I was estimating 200 liters for 1 drum. So you end up spraying 300 liters, and that would be reflecting back to the money we buy a chemical and also the labor that we pay to spray that chemical. So at the end of the day, it becomes so expensive when our pumps, when our spray pumps have weird nozzles, and the nozzles are breaking up. Well, sorry, not breaking up. The nozzles have enlarged in size and pushing out a lot of chemical. So for every season, we would advise at least to make a replacement for nozzles. I think a spare of a nozzle is about 2,000 shillings at most. Yeah, so we can replace our knapsack nozzles once every beginning of the season. At least that will be good enough to take us through. And funny enough, I would like to say that you see, the boys we use at the farm are in a way that they want something that helps them finish their work so fast. So for any blockage as they are spraying, the guy will just pick up a sharp, I would say, iron or any piercing thing, and will just sprinkle the nozzle. And of course, the nozzle will get damaged and the spray mist will come unevenly. We shall see effects of how an even spray application or the mist application causes to the plant. Yeah. So here we are trying to set or double check our equipment to be in a better working situation so that we can be able to put out a clean spray application to our plants. And that, of course, will improve the efficacy of the knapsack or any spray equipment that you are using. So as we move forward, how the nozzle affects the spray, like part of this we have just explained back, and we are saying the amount of chemical applied, and of course the same thing that I just explained for damaged nozzles. They'll always discharge a lot of chemical unevenly, and thus the farmer applies more chemical than the recommended, hence becoming expensive to apply chemicals. That is number one. Point number two was about uniformity of the spray. Of course, and they tell us not to sway the laser. Here, most of us are used to a kind of spraying pattern that we have to swing the laser, I would say, east-west direction. I don't know whether that was the best one to describe it. Let me, okay. Swaying the laser. Yes, you're welcome, Udaya Commodities. You're welcome to the meeting. Yeah, so swaying the laser doesn't simply mean that you're spraying the chemical in the right way. No, spraying the laser, that's what we have in mind. I think it's a mindset thing that when you think when you spray it east to west, the chemical goes on well. But that is prohibited when we apply chemicals because we shall have an even patterns of odd discharge of the sprayer on the plant. So in this pattern, sorry, in the same point here, we have the coverage of the chemical on the surface is what we have just talked about. Yeah, so when we sway, we already have too much chemical on the plant. That is one. And then also some of us have a tendency of wetting. We overweight the plants, thinking that's when the chemical will be best applied, or that's when the chemical will best work. But this is very wrong in the way that this is very wrong in the way that okay, I want to check my recording. Yeah. So this is wrong in a way that when plants are overweighted, like what we saw, what I explained last time is that the active ingredient of each chemical will always move by mass flow. So wherever drops of excess chemical are dripping from the tip of the leaves down to the ground, most chances are that the active ingredient has been dislocated by that drop that is going to the ground. And we remain with the plants that are only having, I would say, water, because that's the largest volume of the whole solution. So we remain with the plants that have only water and the chemical is down to the ground. So this is the point here, that as we spray, we ensure that we put the right droplets, droplet coverage per leaf. And for every, I think I would make a simple reflection to the previous training. Yeah, that every chemical has a way of spraying it. Yes, there are chemicals, especially herbicides. If you're applying herbicides, we have to make sure we have attained full coverage of the chemical to the plant. And then also, when we change and apply, let's say, translaminar insecticides, it's not about spraying too much. It's about achieving the droplet number per leaf. And the chemical will be able to translocate into the system or translocate into the lower parts of the leaves, and will be so much effective than overweighting the plants. So, and then we have to avoid the drift. What is drift? Drift is where by a chemical goes in, okay, directed, I would say directed to unwanted places. Let's say you're spraying a single plant, and then because we are spraying with high pressure, the chemical goes to the ground or goes on the other side. Most times you see this, or you notice this when they spray herbicides close to the garden. And because of this, of the drift, the wind will drift the chemical spray from the target to the non-target crop, and eventually most of those crops near an area that was treated by a herbicide, will always get affected, and you will always see them drying up because of this, what we call the drift. So as we spray, we ensure to hold our nozzles or our spray laces to maintain the spray needs to be, I would say, centralized to the target and to avoid drift. Because every time we do a drift, we are losing chemical and we are losing money. Yeah, so, yeah, they have muted. Yeah, so back to the point here, before I, back to the point, zoom up. Okay, presentation. Yeah, so we go to what we call the nozzles and the droplet size. So here we have types of nozzles. We have plastic nozzles, which are cheap, and the shelf life is always short. Yeah, we have also the brass, which is also cheap and also have a short shelf life. And then we have those made of ceramic material, and then those that are made of steel material. And mostly these steel material nozzles are found with, I would say, with engine or what we call, yeah, I think it's engine operated knapsacks, yeah, or back pumps, or else even boom sprayers. So of course, because they are still, they're expensive, and but of course they come with a long life. Yeah. Now, as we spray, we have types of pressures. You can decide to spray at a low pressure or decide to spray at a high pressure. So what does it implicate? That when we are, of course, it depends, like I put here, it depends on where we are applying this chemical. Yeah. So if it's a weed control, the mist droplet size would be a coarse size. Coarse size means the droplets are larger, meaning the nozzle you're going to choose to apply a herbicide is going to be a nozzle that will release larger droplets of the chemical. Then when we come to a fungicide, we need a medium fungicide, a medium droplet size. and that is always given by a whole cone nozzle. A whole cone nozzle is normally, it has one small hole in the middle, and it will emit the spray in a pattern that is a kind of a circular, but when you spray, you will see the middle point will have less chemical. So at that point we are advised to sway here and there so that we have a uniform application. Yeah, and then when we are applying an insecticide, we need a medium to fine. So we can always adjust these pressures according to what chemical or what pesticide we are using. And maybe to set this clear to everybody, herbicides are also pesticides. Fungicides are also pesticides. Insecticides are also pesticides. These, whether it's a weed, whether it's a disease, whether it's an insect, it's a pest to the plant. Yeah, in one way or another, it affects the plant. So that's why we group them in a general term called pesticide. But when we break them down, we have herbicide, we have fungicide for fungal diseases, and then we have insecticides for insect pests, and then we also have bactericides, we also have virucides, we have many according to the way they are categorized. So as we move forward, these are the nozzles and an illustration of how this every type of nozzle emits. Yeah. So we can see down here the whole cone nozzle that it will always leave a gap as the pesticide mixture is being emitted out. And then we have a flat fan nozzle, which is this middle one, and it will always give a uniform discharge. And of course, most times it will come with a medium course of droplet size. And then here we have this is also a flat fan, but the shape of the spray is not flat. It has an oval shape. So, but here most of the chemical is emitted in the middle. So if you look at its way of emitting chemical, it's always in the middle. It's more chemical in the middle. And yet this one down here, we have less chemical in the middle. But of course, when we tend to the sides of the circle, the application of the pesticide is more. So this is how these nozzles work. And we can always test them out. We can always adjust them. We have the adjustable type. So we can always adjust to suit the chemical we are applying, or else to suit the activity and most especially the target. Yeah, so this is how the spray distribution is like. Yeah, so we have here two guys of ours. One is using a knapsack. Yeah, and I hope we can learn from these visual illustrations. This is our we have two operators here, one with the boom sprayer in the tractor here on our right hand corner, and then the top left corner we have a guy who has fully well dressed, with the spraying suit, with gloves on, with the mask on, and with the of course face shield and mask, and is very well dressed. So now here, before we go, if we can look at how this guy is putting on, you can see the pants of the spray suit are covering the boots, and that's how it should be, not the other way around, to insert the pants into the boots, for reasons that any drift from the chemical, you can see here, the chemical to his leg will not fall into the boat, but rather outside the boat. So this is a well illustration of how all chemical applicators should be. And you can see his mist side, the way he's handling the laser. You can see the white mist, where it ends it ends exactly where the plant leaves stop. Yeah, you see this V shape from here. It comes like this to the nozzle and then to here, and that's the line. Okay, that's the line where the mist will be applied or where the chemical will be applied, and we have minimal what we call drift here. Whereas here, this guy in the sorry about that. This guy in the sprayer, you can see mist everywhere, meaning this application is only best and chemical saving when we have a full canopy of the garden. We can say maize can be at 3 weeks if it is maize. If it is soybean, it can be at around 1 month. And then at that point, we have a full canopy, full closure of the boom sprayer. But now this comes with economies of scale. Of course, I cannot tell you that somebody with about 500 acres, you have to buy knapsacks and you have to spray the whole area. That's impractical. Yeah, so for guys who are doing large scale farming, we always find better ways to. Oh God, we are running out of time. Yeah, so we always find better ways of coming up with. We have 9 minutes left. I hope we can push further. So here also we look at the pattern. Of course, something I didn't talk about. We have the height of the nozzle, and we emphasize that the height has to be maintained. We don't have to put it lower and upper, and so we have to maintain at a given level to obtain a better pattern spray. We have also to choose a pattern to use. Like we have the plants here, yeah, on the side and on the side, and these footsteps show that the guy was moving in the middle of both the rows of plants and comes back in the second bed, same into the middle of the two rows, and then in the third. And this is his pattern of movement. So as we work, let's have a system of work. Yeah, let's know how we best can apply this. You can either choose to walk from the side, we spray one line, go back into the middle, spray this other side of the second line, and then come back in the same line, spray the other line or the third line of plants, and then come in this middle, in the pathway of the third and second bed, and you spread the fourth line of crop. So in that way, you also have a pattern that all plants will get the same quantity or else volumes of spray. And then we have to maintain a forward movement speed. Yeah, we have to maintain the speed at which we are spraying. All these will eventually turn out. Maybe one most important thing about health is to keep children and livestock away from our working areas. Most times, yes, we want to educate our children, but if they are going to be in this area that we are working with, let them be protected because chemicals are chemicals. They are always dangerous to human life, and there is no objection about that. We only have to be keen on how we handle chemicals, and by the end of this, we are going to see how we should best protect ourselves. Yeah, so if we move forward, now this is what I was talking about. If you can see these upper circles intersecting each other and in the same line, and we have this thick blue line marking the movement of the applicator. Yeah, you see the spray patterns more uniform here when the spray when the spray is evenly distributed. And then when we have too much movement and change of height of the nozzle or lesser, yeah, this is what happens below. And you can see that at this certain point, we have less chemical applied, and then here we have more, and then here we have less, and then here more, and then here too much, and then we don't achieve the effectiveness of a chemical. That's why most of us apply chemicals. We always have reinfestation because some areas we are literally not applied well to the right droplet size of the chemical. and then the pests didn't die, and eventually the pests become resistant. That's why most chemicals are no longer effective, but we are the major cause for the ineffectiveness of these chemicals because we have applied them in a wrong way. Yeah, so if we move forward, we have 6 minutes left. We are looking at factors that have been overlooked. Water quality. So some of us have tended to use muddy water because that's what is available at the farm. Yeah, but of course it comes with a shortcoming and of course the type of chemical that we have always used uh, uh, is what is being brought down to being ineffective. So, but of course now muddy water has implications, muddiness of the water that has calcium carbonate also implicates on the chemical that we are applying. The pH of the soil alkalinity also has issues, salinity also has issues, and water with iron deposits also has issues. So all this because they are metals, and in the other way around, naturally existing chemicals, they will always react with the chemicals that we put in the way of protecting the plant. And of course, they will always affect the plant. As we can see here, that muddy water is always absorbs the pesticide. And when it absorbs the pesticides, they will coagulate and form clogs that will block the nozzle of the spraying equipment. And you can always, I mean, it is always tiresome to unblock the nozzles. It is always tiresome to continue. And of course, because you have the knapsack heavy on your back and you have to remove the nozzle, the plug in the nozzle, it's always tiresome. Yeah, the same thing here. We have precipitation, the same thing as coagulation of the chemical compounds and blocked nozzles with hardness of calcium carbonate present in the water. Then alkaline, when the pH is below 6, there is risk of corrosion of the metals. They will react. When the pH is above 8, they can cause hydrolysis. Hydrolysis is almost like elimination. When hydrolysis happens, the chemical that we have applied, we have mixed in the water disappears. Spraying just water. And then salinity, of course, it will cause when the water is saline, it has salt, or it is acidic, it will always burn the crops and also blocks the nozzle and causes corrosion. And then at the end of the day, our application will be less effective. Then to iron, the bacteria living in iron can cause blockages, of course. And if we can look on back to the mixing, yeah, this is a topic that I would like us to begin from. How to mix, how to choose what to mix. Mixing is okay. If mixing is prohibited, I think we can discuss. Most of us here have been saying mixing chemicals is wrong, but it depends heavily on how you do it. Yeah, it depends heavily on how you do it. So this is where we shall begin from in our next meeting. Our 40 minutes are up. So in these remaining 2.5 minutes, we can have a sharing. For those of you that have to put up something, the table is open. Okay, the table is open. But of course, thank you for attending today's meeting. We can have a sharing of one or two. Somebody could have an immediate challenge at the farm. We can see how to handle it in this time, this moment. Thank you so much. The table is open. Somebody with something to share can open up the mic and we share something with us. Yeah, please, let's use the 1 minute, and if there are those that want to share, can share. If there's anything that you think you want to talk about, this is the time. We shall meet again next Monday and we shall begin with pesticide mixing, what we should mix with what we should not mix with what. So I think this will be more interactive. Yes, please. Anybody with something to share for us? Wow. Should I say that it was a bit boring, or we have just chosen? Okay, today we are not speaking anything. Yeah, but the table is open. Just give a sharing, and you can even make a chat, and then yeah, well done. Thank you, Mr. Ahmed. You're welcome. Thank you for attending as well. Yeah, others are leaving. Yeah, but thank you for attending. Thank you so much for attending. Central Daguma, thank you, thank you, thank you for attending, everybody. Okay, anybody with a challenge situation on plants? If your plants are not okay,